And not to have the long ingrained antipathies, long, deep-rooted hatred for one nation for a particular reason. Like, we can't just go on hating the British forever, because eventually we might get into other conflicts with them that will lead to other problems. But we all, on the other side, we shouldn't be we can't get in the treaty. We shouldn't get in the treaties with people, because just because you're in a treaty with somebody, they could go get into a war and they expect you to come help them. The French expected us to come help them, but we couldn't handle it when they were getting into it with the British. So we still would have gotten drawn into something that didn't have anything to do with us. So he's saying, stay in the middle. Stay in the middle. Don't concern yourself in the affairs of other nations. Number 8. The great rule of conduct for us in regard to foreign nations is in extending our commercial relations to have with them as little political connection as possible. What does Washington advise concerning the mix of economics with politics and foreign relations? Ashley, no, Tanisha.
That they should have as little political connection as possible.
Yeah, exactly. What does he mean by commercial? What's he talking about there? Like what should have little interaction? Well, what words in there?
It's an extending our commercial relations.
Yeah, so what are our commercial relations? So commerce would come out of that. What are you doing if you're in commerce with somebody? Trading, exactly. So he's saying that it's okay to trade with people, other countries. That's fine. That helps our economy. Fine. That's not picking sides or anything. But to keep that separate from politics. Remain neutral politically, trade economically. Okay, on to the next one. Europe has a set of primary interests which to us have none, or no relation. Hence, she must be engaged in frequent controversies, the causes of which are essentially foreign to our concerns. Why, by interweaving our destiny with that of any part of Europe, entangle our peace and prosperity in the toils of European ambition, rivalship, interest, humor, or caprice? At this time, Americans view Europe as just constantly at each other's throat. They've always got to be into something with each other. France and Britain fought each other so many times over the years. So that was one of the big reasons why Washington advised to stay out of it, because they're always doing something. You don't want to worry about it. So who can define isolationism? Where am I? Ashley?
Yeah. Policy of remaining apart from the affairs or interests of others.
Yep. Just staying out of what they're doing over there. We'll do us. They do them. Okay, and the last page. What would an American citizen who is considered an isolationist believe concerning foreign relations? Robert.
They would not be foreign relations because they do not care about the interests of other nations.
Yeah, there should be very little foreign relations at all. Trade should be promoted, but no conflict with another nation should concern us. How do the quotes above provide support for a political leader who believes in isolationist policy? Casey.
Like, it shows that none of the other countries really have interest in them, so I mean, they really shouldn't show interest towards any others, and then they should be kind of self-sufficient as well.
Yeah. It can be compared to actual conflicts that we've been throughout history since Washington left that have resulted from us interfering in other countries that their affairs didn't exactly have anything to do with us. Like World War II, we weren't in it, but we got drawn into it, even though it wasn't originally between us and another country. All right, this last one. It is our true policy to steer clear of permanent alliances with any portion of the foreign world, taking care always to keep ourselves by suitable establishments on a respectable defensive posture. We may safely trust to temporary alliances for extraordinary emergencies. This advice offered by Washington was considered to be the best advice for a newly formed, weak but growing nation to follow. But now that our nation is one of the great nations of the world, is this still sound advice? Morgan.
I put that nations today are very dependent upon one another economically, but we are capable of being self-sufficient on the political side, without having to rely on countries.
So you would say that we should still,
I don't know, because you look at it either like, you depend on them economically, but politically, we don't need them to like, be, like, run our programs.
you think it could go either way, kind of like a case-by-case basis, which is kind of how I feel too. I mean, if France and Britain decide to fight each other again today, that doesn't, like, I don't want to send our Americans over there to deal with that. But if Germany starts bombing us, then we can't just sit there and be like, we're isolated. Sorry, we can't do anything. Like, no, we're gonna fight back. So we're gonna maintain our integrity while still just using judgment to remain isolated and neutral in proper circumstances. All right, so good job on that. That focused on two big things that Washington advised the nation on going forward, to stay away from political parties and to remain neutral in foreign affairs. The third one that I think is also important, that especially affects us today, was his recommendation to avoid excessive debt. Just don't go into debt as a nation. And so I've got this other excerpt from his farewell address that we're going to look at. We're going to figure out exactly what he means by it and why he thought it was so important. So, especially for AP US, y'all will be doing work on DBQs, and I'll be helping with Mr. Lewis to work with y'all, give you some strategies, help you break these down throughout the year. They seem like they suck at first, but if you know how to really analyze them, you can find out what you need easily if you know what you're looking for. I think I like them better because I think of it like having the formulas on a math test right in front of you. The answers are right there, you just have to know how to look for them, how to use them. So I've got a strategy for looking at a single document or an excerpt. It's called skids. We skid the document, identify the words that you do know, interpret kind of what you think he's getting at, actually look at those words you do know, and then see if there's any other words that you don't know that might be important. Figure them out, and then get a concise summary of, like a shortened version of what you think it's saying, so you can better understand it and answer questions that may come along with it. So we'll start. I'll just read over it. So, as a very important source of strength and security, cherish public credit. One method of preserving it is to use it as sparingly as possible, avoiding occasions of expense by cultivating peace, but remembering also that timely disbursements to prepare for danger frequently prevent much greater disbursements to repel it. Avoiding likewise the accumulation of debt, not only by shunning occasions of expense, but by vigorous exertions in time of peace to discharge the debts, which unavoidable wars may have occasioned, not ungenerously throwing upon posterity the burden which we ourselves ought to bear. Okay, so we skimmed it. Now let's identify some words that stick out to you that you think are significant to the overall meaning of what he's trying to get at, that you do know. Preserving, okay. So we skimmed. All right, so preserving. What else?
It's a word in that first sentence you probably heard of, probably know that word, cherish. What does that mean? To cherish somebody or something. Yes, care about it a lot, admire it.
Yeah, so let's just go sentence by sentence. It helps to, if you have a long text, I like to break it down by paragraph. And then even if you have to go further than that, or if you just have one paragraph, just take it one sentence at a time. So, so we just found cherish in that first sentence. Let's go to the next one. One method of preserving it is to use it as sparingly as possible. Anything stick out in there?
Preserving.
So what?
Preserving.
Preserving, okay. You got that one. Sparingly. I had that one too.
Which means what?
Okay, let's look at the next section. Anything else stick out to anybody there? Cultivate. Okay. But remembering also that timely disbursements to prepare for danger frequently prevent much greater disbursements to repel. Anything there? Disbursements. Okay. Anything else in that section? All right, danger?
Yeah.
Repel.
Yeah, I also put repel. Now, these are also words that I came up with. If you don't really just what it's getting at or what that particular word means in this context, then we can throw it on the don't know list. But yeah, I also have repel. What does repel mean?
It's like,
Yeah, it's like reflected to.
That's okay.
Okay. Avoiding likewise the accumulation of debt, not only by shunning occasions of expense, but by vigorous exertions in time of peace to discharge the debts, which unavoidable wars may occasion, not ungenerously throwing upon posterity the burden which we ourselves ought to bear. Okay. Say debt.
Occasion.
Debt, occasion. What was it? What? Oh, vigorous. Okay. Unavoidable. Posterity. Now, what does posterity mean? You're ahead of I don't know what you're talking about with that one. So, y'all better than I am already. So, posterity.
Right, like.
Alright, y'all are way better than me because I put burden on there. I was like, what does it mean? It's an old English way of spelling burden, so. Alright, well, y'all's don't know this is gonna be a little bit shorter than mine. Anything else? I think that's a pretty good list. And those are all the things you do know. I mean, that's everything out of there, and I think you'll find, I mean, shit, doesn't even, y'all took the only two off my don't list that I had, so y'all might not even have words that you don't know. So look at the ones you know first. You'll find that the ones you don't know is often a shorter list, so it allows you to focus on what you do know and then go back in, fit in the missing links based on what you don't know. So let's try to interpret sentence by sentence what he's getting at. So in that first one, has a very important source of strength and security, cherish public credit. Anybody?
To keep your nation in check, you need to make sure your money's in check.
Pretty much, yeah. That's a good way to reword it. The borrowing of money for the public, for the government, should be when it's absolutely necessary. It's okay, but to cherish that ability and use it in special circumstances. Don't just borrow.